Captain Zurus of the Zorak fleet couldn't believe what he was hearing. Standing on the bridge of his command ship, he replayed the transmission from the humans that he had intercepted. The message was clear and not just interference from a distant star system. These were the words of Earth's top military commander. "Run it through the translator again," Zarkus ordered, his eye stalks quivering with excitement. The crew on the bridge, a mix of various species from the Zorak Empire, obeyed diligently. A moment later, the same words echoed through the command deck, this time accompanied by a three-dimensional image of General Marcus Steele, humanity's leader, addressing a crowd of Earthlings. Zurus turned to his lieutenant, Tusk. "What does it mean, Tusk?" Tusk, whose knowledge of human culture was unmatched in the fleet, shifted uncomfortably. "It appears, sir, that the humans see us as prey. They have no intention of negotiating peace. They believe in conquest and annihilation." A wave of disbelief spread through the bridge crew. Zurus silenced them with a sweep of his claw. "Ridiculous. This must be a psychological tactic to make us afraid." He turned his gaze to the vast expanse of space displayed on the observation screen. Outside the command ship's hull was Earth, a beautiful, deceptive blue gem, teeming with life and danger. The Zorak fleet had been dispatched to this remote corner of the galaxy to establish a base on the planet, but so far every attempt had ended in disaster. Ships vanished without a trace, squads of warriors were wiped out, and not a single Zorak returned with any intelligence on the true capabilities of the enemy. Zurus was determined to be different. He would not let his crew be cowed by fear or superstition. "Prepare the fleet for immediate attack," he ordered. "We will show the humans the might of the Zorak Empire." General Marcus Steele stood in the command bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, overseeing the final preparations for Earth's defense. The latest reports confirmed that another alien fleet was approaching. Steele's face, a rugged landscape of scars and determination, betrayed no doubt. He knew what he had to do. "Sir, the Zorak fleet is on the move," reported Colonel Hayes, his lieutenant. "They'll be in firing range in 15 minutes. Steele nodded, his eyes fixed on the 3D image of the approaching fleet. "Good. Remind them why they should stay away from Earth." Hayes glanced at his commander. "Permission to speak freely, sir." "Granted. Why don't we try talking to them? Maybe this time will be different." Steele's gaze didn't waver. "You think we haven't tried? Every time we show a hint of weakness, they hit us harder." "No, Colonel, we can't negotiate with predators. We have to be stronger, fiercer. If we want to survive, we must become the hunters." The minutes ticked by, each second a drumbeat of the coming conflict. The Zorak fleet emerged from hyperspace, their ships forming a glittering phalanx of metal and energy. Zarkus watched from his command ship, his tentacles crackling with anticipation. He had heard the stories about Earth's defenders but refused to believe such a primitive species could be a real threat to the Zorak Empire. "Deploy fighters and prepare to attack," Zurus ordered. The fleet surged forward, weapons systems primed. In the command bunker, Steele observed the Zorak formation. "All units prepare to engage on my order." The first volley came from the Zorak fleet, a barrage of energy beams illuminating the dark void. Earth's orbital defense systems activated, intercepting the attacks with pinpoint accuracy. The skies above the planet became a battleground of light and fury. "Deploy the drones," Steele commanded. Squadrons of automated fighters launched from hidden silos, their sleek shapes streaking towards the Zorak ships. They moved with the agility of predators, weaving through enemy defenses and striking with precision. Zarkus watched in disbelief as his ships were outmaneuvered and shot down. How can this be? They're just drones. The coordination of the Zorak fleet began to falter under the relentless assault. Steele's tactics were ruthless, coldly exploiting every weakness. Each Zorak ship that fell only fueled humanity's resolve. In the chaos of battle, Zurus received a message from one of his scouts: "Sir, we've detected unusual energy signatures on the planet's surface. They may have a new type of weapon. Find it and destroy it," Zarkus ordered, but as his scouts moved to comply, they met fierce resistance. Earth's ground defenses were as formidable as their space fleet. General Steele observed the unfolding battle, his expression unreadable. "They're adapting faster than anticipated," Hayes remarked. "They always do," Steele replied. "That's why we have to stay one step ahead." At the center of the conflict, the Zorak command ship took a direct hit, its shields unable to withstand the relentless assault. Zurus knew the battle was lost, but retreat was not an option, not for him. He would fight to the end, proving to his superiors and his enemies that the Zorak were not cowards. "All ships continue the attack," Zurus roared. "We will not be remembered as the fleet that ran from the humans." The battle raged fiercely, both sides refusing to yield. As the command ship began to break apart, Zarkus felt a grudging respect for his enemy's tenacity. Perhaps there was more to the humans than he had realized. But respect was not enough to save him. In his final moments, Zarkus sent one last message to his superiors: "The humans are the hunters." In the command bunker, Steele watched as the Zorak fleet disintegrated. He knew this was just one battle in a long war, but it was a victory. He turned to Hayes, grim satisfaction in his eyes. "Prepare for the next wave," he said. "And make sure the message is transmitted. Let them know that Earth is not a place to be trifled with." As the wreckage of the Zorak fleet burned in Earth's atmosphere, Steele knew the aliens would return, and when they did, humanity would be ready to remind them once again why Earth was where invaders vanished, never to emerge again. General Steele stood amidst the organized chaos of the command bunker, analyzing data from the recent battle. Earth's victory against the Zorak fleet had boosted morale, but he knew the respite would be brief. The aliens would regroup and return, possibly with an even greater force. "Sir, another transmission from the Zorak homeworld," reported Colonel Hayes. "It's garbled, but we can make out a demand for our surrender." Steele allowed himself a humorless smile. Do they never learn? "Patch it through." The screen flickered, revealing the stern visage of Supreme Commander Nalka, the Zorak military leader. His eye stalks quivered with barely contained rage. "Humans or arrogance will not go unpunished. Surrender now, and we may grant you a modicum of mercy." Steele stepped forward, his expression cold and resolute. "Supreme Commander Nalka, Earth does not surrender. If you want our planet, you'll have to come and take it. But I promise you, your fleets will vanish like all the others." Nalka's tentacles crackled with frustration. "You underestimate the Zorak Empire, General. We will bring the full might of our forces to bear on your puny world." "We'll be ready," Steele replied, cutting the transmission. He turned to Hayes: "Double drone production and improve our orbital defenses. They'll be back, and we need to be prepared." In the depths of space, Supreme Commander Nalka seethed with humiliation. The Zorak had been shamed by the humans again and again. This insult could not stand. He summoned his war council, a group of the most brilliant and ruthless minds in the Empire. "We cannot endure another failure," Nalka began, his voice a low growl. "What is our next move?" Admiral Zerak, a seasoned strategist, stepped forward. "The humans have proven formidable in direct combat. We need a different approach. Intelligence suggests they rely heavily on automated defense systems and drones. We could deploy an electromagnetic pulse to disable their technology before launching a ground assault." "An electromagnetic pulse," Nalka mused. "It's a risk, but it could work. What do we need?" Our engineers can modify a fleet to carry and deploy the EMP device, Zerak replied. It will take time, but it will give us the edge we need. Make it happen, Nalka ordered. And ensure our ground forces are ready to deploy immediately after. We'll strike hard and fast. On Earth, Steele and his team worked tirelessly to bolster their defenses. They had intercepted fragments of Zorak communications, suggesting a new strategy, but the exact nature remained unclear. Steele knew they had to be ready for anything. General, we've detected unusual activity near Mars, reported Lieutenant Davis from the sensor array. It looks like the Zorak are amassing a new fleet. Steele nodded, alert all stations. We need to be ready for their next move. Days passed in mounting tension. The Zorak fleet drew closer, and Earth's defenses braced for the inevitable confrontation. When the final attack came, it was swift and brutal. Electromagnetic pulse detected, Hayes shouted as alarms blared throughout the command bunker. Brace for impact. A massive EMP swept over Earth's defenses, disabling satellites, drones, and communication systems. Steele's heart raced as lights flickered and dimmed. They were blind and vulnerable. Activate backup systems, Steele ordered. Restore defenses now. The Zorak fleet descended upon the crippled Earth forces with ruthless efficiency. Without the automated defense systems, the human ships struggled to repel the invasion. Zorak troops landed on the surface, engaging in fierce ground battles with Earth's soldiers. Steele donned his battle gear and weapons, preparing to join the fight. Colonel Hayes, you have command here. Coordinate our forces and get the drones back online. I'll lead the defense on the ground. As Steele left the command bunker, he was greeted by the sounds of battle. Explosions shook the landscape, and the sky was alight with laser fire. He rallied his soldiers, their faces grim but determined. Hold the line, Steele shouted. We will not let them take our home. The battle raged fierce and brutal. Earth's soldiers, armed with everything from advanced weaponry to makeshift defenses, clashed endlessly with the Zorak enemy. Steele fought on the front lines, every movement calculated to inspire his troops and thwart the enemy's assault. Despite their initial advantage, the Zorak forces met fierce resistance. Earth's soldiers fought with the desperation of defending their very existence. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. In the command bunker, Hayes and the remaining team worked tirelessly to restore their systems. Drones coming back online, Davis reported. We can start counter-attacking the enemy fleet. Do it now, Hayes ordered. And patch me through to the general on the battlefield. Steele's communicator crackled. General, this is Hayes. We're restoring the drones. Support is on the way. Steele laughed through the fatigue and sweat of battle. Well done, Colonel. Keep it up. We're holding the line down here. With the drones restored and rejoining the fight, the balance of power began to shift. The Zorak fleet, once confident in their overwhelming might, now faced a fierce counter-assault from Earth's reawakened defenses. The skies filled with resurrected drones, slicing through Zorak ships with renewed vigor. Supreme Commander Nalka watched in horror as his forces were decimated. This cannot be happening. How can they recover so quickly? Admiral Zerak stood beside him, shaking his head. The humans, they never stop. On the ground, Steele's forces pushed the Zorak troops back, reclaiming lost territory with every step. The Zorak had underestimated the tenacity and determination of humanity, a mistake they would pay for dearly. Steele looked to the sky, where Earth's drones performed their deadly dance among the stars. Send a message to Nalka, he told Hayes over the communicator. Tell him this is only the beginning. We will never stop fighting. As the battle raged on, Steele knew they had won this fight, but the war was far from over. The Zorak would return, and when they did, Earth would be ready to show them once again why humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Supreme Commander Nalka seethed as he watched the remnants of his fleet crumble under the relentless assault of Earth's defenses. The humans, with their unceasing resilience and determination, had once again turned the tide of battle in their favor. He could not endure another failure. The reputation of the Zorak Empire, and his own, was at stake. Admiral Zerak, prepare the final option, Nalka ordered, his voice a low, menacing growl. We will not be humiliated again. If we cannot conquer the humans, we will ensure their annihilation. Zerak nodded, understanding the gravity of the command. The final option was a weapon of last resort, one that would unleash a devastating wave of destruction, sacrificing the Zorak fleet but obliterating Earth in the process. It was a scorched earth tactic, but Nalka saw no other choice. On Earth, General Steele stood amidst the smoke and rubble of battle, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of the next attack. His soldiers, though wounded and weary, remained resolute. They had defended their home against impossible odds, and they were ready to do it again. Colonel Hayes, status report, Steele commanded over the communicator. Sir, we've fully regained control of our defense systems, Hayes replied. Our drones and orbital defenses are operational. However, we're detecting a massive energy buildup in the Zorak fleet. It's something we've never seen before. Steele narrowed his eyes, they're up to something. Get our scientists on it immediately. I want to know what we're dealing with. As Hayes relayed the order, Steele turned back to the sky. The Zorak fleet loomed ominously, a threat that refused to disappear. Steele knew they were planning something. Minutes later, Hayes returned with grim news. Sir, our scientists have analyzed the energy signatures. The Zorak are preparing to deploy a doomsday weapon. If they activate it, it will annihilate all life on Earth. Steele's heart raced. This is a desperate enemy's final play. We need to act fast. Hayes, get me a direct line to the fleet commanders. In the command bunker, a flurry of activity ensued as Steele's orders were carried out with military precision. Contact was established with Earth's remaining fleets, and Steele laid out his plan. Listen up, everyone, Steele began, his voice firm with resolve. The Zorak are planning to use a doomsday weapon to wipe us out. We can't let that happen. We need to strike first and disable that weapon before they can deploy it. This is our last chance. Failure is not an option. The commanders nodded, their faces grim but determined. The fate of Earth was in their hands, and they would not falter. Above, the human fleet sprang into action. Fighter craft and bombers streaked through space, hurtling towards the Zorak command ship where the doomsday weapon was housed. Steele's plan was simple but audacious: disable the weapon's power source before it could be activated. As the human ships closed in, they met fierce resistance from the Zorak fleet. Laser fire and explosions filled the void, turning the battlefield into a chaotic maelstrom of destruction. But the human pilots, driven by the primal instinct to protect their home, pushed forward with unwavering resolve. On the bridge of the Zorak command ship, Nalka watched the approaching human ships with a mixture of grudging respect and rage. Defend the weapon at all costs, he roared. Do not let them through. The human fleet, led by Commander Jackson, fought their way through the enemy lines. Jackson's ship weaved through the enemy fire, his eyes locked on the glowing core of the Zorak command ship, the power source of the doomsday weapon. Cover me, Jackson shouted to his squadrons. I'm going in. With one final burst of speed, Jackson's ship broke through the Zorak defenses and fired a volley of missiles into the core. The explosion was blinding, sending shockwaves through the command ship and triggering secondary explosions throughout the vessel. In the command bunker, Steel watched the screens as the Zorak command ship erupted into a spectacular fireball. Cheers erupted from his team, but Steele's focus remained razor-sharp. "All units maintain defensive positions," he ordered. "We've won this battle, but the war isn't over." As the dust settled, the human fleet regrouped, ensuring no Zorak ships remained to threaten Earth. Steele received word that Nalka had been killed in the explosion. A fitting end for the tyrant who had sought to destroy their world. With the immediate threat neutralized, Steele addressed his soldiers, "Today, we have proven that humanity will not bow to invaders. We've shown the Zorak Empire that Earth is not a prize to be claimed, but a fortress to be defended. We will remain vigilant, and we will continue to stand against any who threaten our home. This is not the end, but a new beginning. Let this victory be a message to all who would challenge us. Earth stands strong, and we will never surrender." As cheers erupted across the battlefield and around the globe, Steele allowed himself a rare moment of reflection. The price had been high, but humanity had prevailed. The Zorak Empire had been dealt a crushing blow, one that would echo across the galaxy. And so, as the sun set on a war-torn Earth, the message was clear: alien fleets would continue to vanish near Earth, not because of some mysterious force, but because humanity, resilient and unyielding, would always be there to defend their home.